That was how they used to tell your parents you were autistic. They would pull you and be like, "Listen, your son spent $35,000 requesting Amish Paradise on the box over and over again. I'm so sorry."
Dude, is there any chance that you're going to present your dad with a check for all the money you spent on Amish Paradise?
How fucking that would be my inspirational video. It's like, dude, I finally made I paid off my dad's Amish Paradise request money. Shout out the box. What was it, Channel 60 for me? Damn.
Oh, man.
You just show up to his door with like a giant check, and he just punches you in your mouth because you deserve it.
Yeah, when we were kids in Philly, we had the box, and you could pay $1 or $2 to have. They would scroll down a list of the current music videos, and you would call in and request your video, and it was $2, and then they would throw it into the queue, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I was just telling the boys I put my parents into basically medical level debt requesting Amish Paradise. Welcome to Dabby. Yeah, dude, we're very happy to be joined by one of our true Philly comedy OGs, Chip Chantry. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm very excited to be here.
Thrilled that you're here.
Yeah.
Tim, how far removed were you from MTV's heyday when you were at that point?
I guess I didn't understand that there was a heyday because when I was like conscious, it was like TRL days. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? But dude, when it was spring break time and they were just like shaking big titties like 4 hours a weekday in the summer.
Dude, MTV Spring Break, I look forward to that every year. Yeah. And it was like, even though it was like a whole weekend of content, but they would replay it constantly, I would just watch it as though I hadn't seen it.
What was the one where people were just like dancing at a beach house? Jams?
Was that The Grind?
The Grind.
There was The Grind with Eric Niles, Eric Nies or whatever.
Eric Nies from The Real World.
And then
that was a sexual awakening for me.
See, I always hated it because like as a kid, I would just get angry that I couldn't go because I'm not old enough and I'm not cool enough. So like I would just get angry.
Imagining
like,
you on the grind.
Exactly like the grind or like especially like spring break. I was like, I can't go to spring break. I'm 12, and like I would like just turn on whatever.
Do you ever put on a bathing suit and like dance in your living room along to it?
Tim, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Chip has an incredible story about getting to be involved in television.
Oh yeah, that's true. So MTV Tangential, when I was like 12 and my brother was like 8, we signed up for the Nickelodeon's Kids Choice Awards sweepstakes. You know, the Kids Choice Awards, and you would like send in a postcard and they'd pick somebody's name.
Send in a picture of your feet to Dan Schneider.
Yeah, exactly. And he'd be like, good, I like this one. Yeah. And
why do I have to put my socks in an envelope? Okay.
And then you lick the envelope.
Yeah. And I spray it with perfume like from a bottle. It's like one of those. Put silly putty in it. And so they picked my brother won the Nickelodeon's Kids Choice Award sweepstakes in 1989, and they flew my family out, and we were on brother and I were on the Nickelodeon's Kids Choice Awards that year.
Every kid's dream.
Yeah. It was crazy.
What did you do?
So we got to sit in the front, and the two hosts hosted from the audience, and we're surrounded by kids, and like we were right there the whole time. It was Will Wheaton from Star Trek. Stand By Me in Star Trek, and Nicole Eggert from pre-Baywatch.
Was this just like when like a wide receiver is at UFC and they cut to you on a camera and you're like shadow boxing?
Exactly, that's exactly what it is. Like, yeah, and then we went up on stage and did like a double dare, like physical challenge thing. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
How did you not get hooked? How are you not on heroin right now?
I know. Oh yeah. It took
How
years.
do you have a normal life?
Yes, look at his get up.
It's actually I just shoot up with green slime. Yeah. I'm like physical challenge.
Yeah, his Narcan is I just dump a bucket of fucking jizz all over him.
But we met all
He's
these.
smoking the Aggro Crag.
Goes up to his dealer. He's like, "Do you have it?"
Yes, dude. The Jake microphone has already paid off. Fuck yes.
He does coke in a giant nose.
I was just gonna say that.
Yes.
Tell him what they want, Harvey. 30 days in rehab. Opiate withdrawal is the real physical challenge.
You can't do that on my stoop.
Dark summers.
I met Mark Summers years later. He wasn't actually at the thing.
In rehab?
Yeah, he was in rehab at the time. But when I opened for Bob Saget a couple years ago at the TLA, I was in my dressing room between shows, and Bob asked me to like, if a bunch of his family members were going to come up and hang out, he just wanted a couple minutes just to like kind of chill out. So they came into my dressing room. So I'm like standing there, was like my wife at the time, my girlfriend, my wife.
My wife
at the time. It was it's a long story.
God rest her soul.
It's been, yeah. She went up to the physical challenge in the sky. But so all of like Bob Saget's like relatives are like standing around like talking to me, and I'm just trying to like get all, and then all of a sudden like a knock comes to the door again. I'm like another, and I turn around and it's Mark Summers of all people, and I was just like blown away. And
what color sweatsuit were you wearing?
Yeah, luckily I was the red team. Yeah. he just handed me a box of Nikes.
They were probably like, I don't know if if there were ever kids that like dreamed about being molested, that's probably like a pair that would show up at your door that would be like the ultimate.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's just, it was great. But one of my favorite moments of that whole time when I was in LA for the taping. So my brother was the big winner. So like they're taking pictures with him and all these like D-level celebrities that are there. And I'm just kind of tagging along, and we're backstage before the show and we're just like running around getting pictures. And they realize that I'm just like dead weight because I'm not the winner, so they don't need me. So they're just like, we're gonna put you in a dressing room, and it's a closet basically. Like they just basically locked me in a closet for like 20 minutes, and it had like it had a mirror with the lights on it, but it was tiny, and I'm like
and a painting with the eyes cut out.
So I'm just like sitting there and like waiting, like, are they gonna forget about me? But I'm just like this scared like 12-year-old kid. I'm just waiting. And all of a sudden, the door just flies open. And again, it's like we're in a closet. The door flies open. It was Charles Fleischer.
From Roger Rabbit?
The voice of Roger Rabbit, who's a stand-up comedian. And I knew he was a stand-up comedian because, like, even as a kid, like, I was a huge stand-up fan. I would see him on, like, the A&E shows and all that, you know, like, Night at the Improv. And he's a crazy person, and he's scary looking, and he's huge. And
he's wearing a zipper mask.
I don't want to cast aspersions, but he was sweating and shaking, and it was 1989, and he just like, I was scared, and he was scared to see me, and he goes, "Oh, hey, buddy," and then shuts the door behind him, so it's just him and I, and he's like, "Hey, buddy," and then he just turns away from me and just looks at the mirror, and for 5 minutes, he does his vocal warm-ups because he's going to do like a voice thing, you know? So for 5 minutes, he's just in the mirror just going, and I'm just sitting there as a 12-year-old who've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I was like, this is my future. Like, this is what I'm going to be. And he's just like sweating.
He has, at this point, he has no idea you know who he is.
No.
He's never been recognized by a child in his life.
No, and I knew exactly who he was. And he's
having a cocaine freak out in a mirror. This is vocal lessons, kid. You'll learn someday.
I'm watching Roger Rabbit.
You want to make it in this business or not?
And then he's just like, all right, see ya, and just leaves. And I just sat there by myself for another like half hour, and then they came and got me. And
damn.
Yeah. And now I'm a stand-up comedian.
Wow.
Damn, Chip.
Yeah.
Damn, do you get to watch any slime drop on fat ladies? How was the actual
on the
award
plane
show?
ride over?
Did you get to talk to Nicole Eggert at all?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't want anything to do with me. Will Wheaton I actually talked to like for a while. Like, he was like super cool. He was really nice.
Oh.
And my brother met Bobby the Brain Heenan.
What?
That's like, we still have a picture.
What the fuck was he doing there?
He like did a thing. I think they slimed him. Like, he was like the bad guy or whatever. But he was backstage and he was super nice. And like, we have a picture of my brother with like him in a headlock. And I'm trying to think like who else we like the little brother from Growing Pains was there. You know, like just
Brian
like
Bonsall.
That's from Family Ties, I think. Jeremy Miller.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Jeremy, yeah.
I don't know any of these names.
Oh, and then the big
Chip
moment.
and I are old as shit.
Yeah, you guys are old
exactly.
as fuck.
We the gang from McHale's Navy was there. So my dad was there. Like, my dad doesn't give a shit about any of it because it's like kid stars, and he's like, he's over it. He like doesn't care at all. But we're at the rap party, like on this like deck in Universal
This was also
Studios.
before kids were hot, so your dad
Exactly.
just, like,
Yeah,
completely
he was, like,
checked out.
They were not attractive children.
Yeah.
So we're at this rap party, and like my parents are hanging out with Will Wheaton's parents, and like my dad's just like is over it. It's just like whatever. Like, this is fine.
He's
like,
shaking his keys in his jacket pocket the whole
exactly.
time.
He's like, members only. Like, let's go. And then I just saw my father's eyes at one point, just wide as saucers. David Faustino walked in to the party, Bud Bundy, and my dad flipped out. He's like, it's Bud Bundy. And to this day, my dad has a bar down in the basement, and there's a picture behind the bar of me and my dad and Bud Bundy. And my dad's got his hand stuck down the front of his pants, like Al Bundy.
Down the front of
Al
Bud's
Bundy.
pants?
Yeah, in front of Bud's pants. He's like, can I slide this in here? Yeah. Yeah. So
Chip's like sneaking into the picture in the background.
Dude, this whole situation is very Nickelodeon.
Oh, it was crazy.
God
Yeah.
damn, Chip.
Yeah. My dad actually yelled at, and it turned out, I was like, this kid's famous. I know he's famous. And it turned out to be David. Was it David Austin Green from 90210?
Yeah.
That
Very
kid.
hot kid.
Brian-
He was like
Brian Austin
young.
Green?
Brian Austin Green.
Yeah,
Brian
yeah.
Austin Green. And,
I don't know who that is, but the name sounded like Brian in my
Brian
head.
Austin
Okay,
Green,
cool.
The bag. And he was trying to dump like green slime shampoo on somebody's head. And my
fuck
dad's
off,
like,
dude.
you probably shouldn't do that. Like my dad like yelled at him. It's like, they're like young celebrities. They're all going to die soon. Like, let it, like
They're all doing vocal exercises.
Mr. Phoenix, can you please knock it off?
That Chip, after you had that experience, did that like create a level of delusion where you're just like, all right, this kind of shit is going to happen all the time for me?
Yeah, I mean, my brother was super lucky. Like, he would win like every award, but like I was like, okay, I have my foot in the door of stardom and celebrity. Like, I'm gonna be an entertainer.
Yeah.
And then I was the nerdiest, like goofiest, pasty little 12-year-old that like I did theater and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought I was gonna be a superstar though. Like I was like, I'm gonna
Like
get
every summer,
discovered.
you're like telling your parents, like, we should probably fly to Orlando again.
Yeah,
Just
we should
see what's
do
up with
this.
all
Can
my
we-
friends
yeah.
from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like I almost feel bad for you because like you telling your peers this story, it sounds like a dirtball kid lie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, because like luckily it was on TV and everybody saw it, but like, because that's something that like nobody would ever believe. Like,
Do you have the footage? Do you have like a VHS of this?
We used to have we used to
Taped
have a
over it?
VHS, and of course my parents got rid of them. My dad brought his like gigantic camcorder, like because back in the day it was like one of the big ones.
A two-hander?
Yeah, literally, it was a two-hander. And he like the guy on a mic. He shot in the back of the audience, like they were there for the taping. And like today, you would never allow that, but like they were just like, whatever. And he was recording it, and Corey Feldman was there in his like hardcore Michael Jackson days, and he like was doing a song, like he came on and did like this Michael Jackson song or whatever. And at one point Corey runs down the steps of the stage, like into the audience for like the girls to whatever, and then he runs up and he just face plants, just totally face plants. And they cut it out of the recording course, but my dad has it on.
No
on
way.
video. But he threw out the tape.
Fucking
like, I'm just
dickhead.
like, you gotta be
God
kidding.
damn
That would
it.
have been amazing. Yeah.
Rob C said all these years he thought Dave Portnoy was Bud Bundy.
Man, that'd be funny if, like, everyone's just recording everything with their phones at concerts. Everyone was just still using camcorders. Everyone was just walking around just shouldered up.
My dad rented one for a Disney World vacation we had, and I thought of it recently because I remember him filming at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
And when we were there at the entrance a few weeks ago, I was like, damn, I remember sitting here and rewatching the video of my dad dictating what was happening, which is me and my fat mom sitting by the Universal waterfall.
Yeah.
Dude, for years I watched VHS porn on a camcorder.
What?
Yeah, like, you can connect it to a TV.
Yeah.
I've never heard a sound louder than a camcorder rewinding.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like Nick Nolte getting out of bed in the morning.
Just like every mechanic was like, Tim, what have you been fast forwarding and rewinding a lot up there? Have I? I didn't notice. I was trying to find the beginning of the Secret of the Use.
Sorry, Dad. I just have Steven Tyler on speakerphone.
And they would have like the actual rewinders. Remember, like
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
couldn't it would burn the tape up. But you put the rewinder. You could always tell when you would go to a divorced kid's house because his dad would always have the Corvette one. It was like the Corvette rewinder you would stick in, and it was like, oh, sorry about your parents. Yeah.
Sorry about your parents, but congratulations on all your dad's new pussy. Oh man,
No. How was your week, Mike?
dude, it was great, and I want to thank you because when I logged onto your Twitch chat today, I was getting the message I needed at exactly the right time. I realized this week I have been in a weeks-long pity party funk. And
What brought it on? Anything specific?
No, honestly, I think just being like overwhelmed with just fucking responsibilities and just shit I had to do,
Yeah.
and a lot of significant events in a short period of time. And then when I get overwhelmed, rather than just say like, "All right, I can't do this shit," I'll take it on, and then I'll just complain about everything like a fucking baby.
We all do that, dude.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, man.
Wasn't Pity Party Funk the type of music you used to play in your band in high school?
Yeah, it was actually another show that Eric Nees from fucking The Grind hosted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just I had a big fight with my wife this week, and that kind of snapped me out of it.
It snapped you out of it?
Snapped me out of it because I listened to what she said, and it made me realize, like, oh shit, I am doing that.
Oh, she got you.
She fucking.
You lost a fight with
I
your
got
wife
got,
this week,
dude.
is what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah,
I got by my wife.
You thought you were the wrong one. She was the wrong one.
Yeah, I'm not the. Well, I am the one.
You were
Yeah.
the one. Yeah. Sorry, man.
So she got me, but it was what I needed to hear.
Yeah. What were we? You started telling me before we went on, but what was happening on? What did you hear on the Twitch? Please tell our friends in the audience what
you were.
What was my message that you
were
needed
talking
to hear?
about engaging in shit that you find meaningful.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, and I just and on top of what like my wife had said, like I realized like okay, I'm gonna stop complaining about the shit I have to do. It's just shit I have to do. It's gonna come and it's gonna pass, and I just need to line up more shit that I want to do.
Oh, good.
And
yeah.
going back to something else you said this a while back, and you were talking about how like during a mushroom trip you realized that like the only thing that matters is creating experiences with your family.
Yeah.
And that's something.
That's my prime directive.
That's something that stayed in the back of my mind and that I've been more conscious of this week. And I'm just making time to make more of those opportunities happen.
Hell yeah. Damn. Did you do anything yet, or are you just the gears are turning?
Well, you know what? I went with after vacation was fucking awesome a couple weeks ago, and then I started making other plans for shit to do. I went to the Sixers game with my wife last week, and we're going to go again this week. And then I got tickets for 2 concerts with my wife and my daughter in August.
Mm-hmm.
And in July at some point, I'm going to take my other daughter.
What were the tickets for?
For Deftones.
Okay, cool.
And then in July, I'm going to take my daughter Olivia to New York to the new Harry Potter place they got there.
Nice.
So it's just making time to do shit I want to do rather than be inundated with shit I don't want to do.
Yeah, it's tough. And Chip, you have a dog, or you had a dog, so you know what I'm talking about. But it's tough. Sometimes you just feel like as long as I nail all my obligations, dude, I am the ultimate family man. But it's like
It's not. Yeah.
you gotta kind of dig deep and like give yourself to them in like these like vulnerable experiences where you show them like what it's like when you enjoy stuff with them.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard and boring to explain, so I'm not going to go too much further into it. But yeah,
I don't think it is, dude. I don't think it is because I think it's important for everybody to hear that reminder.
Yeah.
And whether it's with kids or just parents, siblings, friends, or whatever, just taking the time to just let people know like what they mean to you. And to just create memories because it's so easy to just, even when you do shit, it's so easy just to fucking take your phone out and either take pictures of shit or just record shit that you'll never watch again rather than make an actual memory of that experience.
Yeah, dude. Actually, I think what got us talking about that on Twitch today, dude. Shout out Gwetty Mernins in the Twitch chat. The boy popped. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but it was public to begin with. But he popped in the Twitch chat. He was like, "Yo, dude, I got a risky decision I need to make, and I think I'm at like the cusp of making it." And I was like, "Dude, how old are you?" And he said 24 years old. I was like, "Dude, just fill your life with risk.
Yeah.
You should try to fuck up your life because you have so much time to get it back. The alternative is probably just not doing anything until you're old enough to just do it right the first time." I want people to I want people fucking up and failing. I want people throwing their life away.
That was one of my biggest, and I think I was like so quote unquote responsible.
Yeah.
But I grew up like I worked hard, got good grades. I went to college and then got
dork life, dude.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
guilty.
and that's what you're supposed to do, right? And there's
Yeah.
I went to college. I got a teaching job, and I was a teacher for a bunch of years, and I had started comedy a couple 2-3 years after I started teaching. But for the first, I taught for 15 years, so for those first 10 or so years, especially I was super responsible. So my 20s, I was working hard and
That
trying to be
sucks.
responsible.
Yeah.
But then I also had this secret double life of a comedian that I always just wanted to be I just want to quit this job and just go full.
And you're always telling yourself I'm gonna quit. None of this matters. I'm gonna quit this. It's
Right.
not gonna be real.
And then it totally kicked in in my 30s when I got my first TV writing job and I quit. Then I kind of totally went the other way. I was I want to fuck up now, and not fuck up, but take risks and do things. And so I really try to appreciate that more because I feel I did the quote unquote right thing, but I kind of squandered my 20s as far as just going for it.
Now you're writing in your journal
I
think I should try out opioids.
Yeah. I wonder what cocaine is like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're 24, just go for it,
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how
Nobody's
much...
expecting anything of you. Like,
How- oh
nobody
my
expects
God.
you to be.
I remember being 24 years... Actually, I had a family at the time, so there were expectations on me. But, like, even when I was, like, 20, I was just, like, crushed by, like, the nerves around, like, not fucking up and, like, because of what people would think of me.
Yeah.
I feel so fucking stupid. But here I am. I've got everything I want. I truly fucking love my shit. Maybe things could have been worse, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I want to shake young people by the shoulders and be like, please, dude, just ruin your life.
Dude, that's the truth. My oldest daughter graduated from high school on Wednesday, and her birthday is Tuesday. So tomorrow, I'm compiling a list of all the shit that I wish somebody had told me at her stage of life now.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to give it to her on her birthday. And everything that I'm thinking of just revolves around doing no.
P.S. They're gonna tell you to not get a corn tattoo. Disregard this one.
But everything just revolves around just doing what you want to do, and it's hard to like frame that in the sense of just like, all right, like I had a credit card and I was buying my friends Timberlands and treating all my boys to Olive Garden.
Legendary.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
However, anything that comes to your mind that excites you in the least, figure out a way to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because everything is so accessible now. People are more accessible than ever. Places are more accessible than ever. Just fucking do something other. Like, I sat in my room. There was like a year of my life where my entire life revolved around Dawson's Creek coming on fucking Tuesday nights and me basing my upcoming week's fantasy off of whatever happened in Dawson's Creek. And it got to the point where my dad,
God, dude, you're the best. You had a weekly revolving fantasy based on what Pacey did.
Dude, it got so bad. My dad came into my room to have a conversation with me. My dad never had these kind of conversations with me. He's like, "You got to do something."
And did you just go, I don't want your life?
He's like, "Mike, I don't want to wait for your life to be over." But
Did he call you James Vanderperk?
nobody did call me James Vandergeek. But I didn't know what to tell my dad. But I knew we had this set of like real estate tapes downstairs, and I was like, I could get into real estate. And my dad's like, "All right, dude, go for it."
Did you say real escape?
Yeah. So I did not get into real estate, but I got my dad off my back, and I think that was kind of a push in the direction I needed. I didn't ultimately get there, but I think within a few weeks or months, I finally got a job, and I started to kind of move away from that life.
Is that Papa
revolving around-
John's? Or Domino's, rather?
That was the Healthplex. I had a computer, and at the time I kept, and it wasn't an online journal, but it was basically a Word document dedicated to how much I loved Ashley Judd.
If I remember correctly, you executed this computer in a field
I
at
did,
one
yes.
point.
Yeah. But that's a step up from your life revolving around Dawson's Creek.
You're
like a
creating
child porn-
content.
You're like a child porn guy. He's like, he had 16 terabytes of RTF files about Ashley Judd.
Dude, it was bad. Do you remember from A Time to Kill where Ashley Judd is talking to Matthew McConaughey about they met at Ole Miss University?
You brought this up to me before, and I still haven't watched The Time to Kill.
Dog, well, there's a part where they're talking about how they met, and they met at Ole Miss University. And I remember thinking, like, I'm probably going to go to Ole Miss. And I started looking it up because I had the computer, I had the internet at that time. I was like, I might just take the leap and go to Ole Miss, which would have been very fucking cool.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I did keep my Ashley Judd online journal.
Oh, that's
Offline
amazing.
journal.
Yeah, offline journal,
Yeah.
yes. It was just, it was, I don't even know if I had Microsoft Word. It was just what Notepad or whatever the fuck you could type on.
MS Paint. You were drawing. You're writing with your mouse. Man, that's so fucked up. Was this at the same time that you covered in your room in Olympic gymnastics team posters?
A couple years after. The gymnastics fetish went from 96.
How did your dad not kill you at some point?
How did I not kill them? So, yeah, my room was finkled out with the fucking gymnastics team from like 96 to 98. And I think 98 is when the Dawson's Creek fantasies started to take flight. Dude,
And are you in like high school this time, or
No, I graduated high school in 96. And
Okay.
it was immediately
Adult
after.
man.
Yeah.
Adult man watching Dawson's Creek to find out what he should fantasize about.
It was bad, man. And dude, I even had further Dawson's Creek fantasies aside from what happened on the show. My recurring fantasy, which was part of what propelled me into comedy, was that they filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
And it was a dual fantasy with Dawson's Creek and the Dream Team from the 96, or the Magnificent Seven from the 96 Olympics.
Yeah.
So the fantasy would be me at a diner in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm in a booth between the Magnificent Seven and the cast of Dawson's Creek, and they overhear how funny I am. And they can't stop talking about me.
Tim, how was your week?
Dude. I know stuff like this happened in my brain, but if I were to recall it, I think my head would explode. I think most normal people have there's a cortex somewhere in your brain where if you like try to access these old thoughts, you're like you have a stroke.
I'm close right now.
Man.
Do you still have an Ashley Judd thing, or have you moved on?
I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel nothing for her right now.
Yeah.
That was almost a weirder response than yes.
She's dead to me.
that had the exact tone of a deposition. Fuck.
What was the thing that got you into Ashley Judd? Was it A Time to Kill, or was there a certain...
Dude, I was so horny and, and just so resistant to actually speaking to women that it was a woman that I found attractive.
Yeah.
And then rather than do something about it and say like, oh, maybe I'll go talk to a girl and ask her out on a date, it was just like that didn't even occur to me. It was just Ashley Judd was an attractive woman, and then once the fantasies took off, that felt good.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm just going to do this until it doesn't feel good anymore.
I would give anything for that hard drive.
Good luck.
Man.
What if someday you were sitting in a diner? Hear me out.
So fucked up. But that's why I love you.
Thank you, buddy. And I
This
love you
weird
too.
shit, because I know it was happening in my brain. But dude, I mean, I've probably named some girl characters in video games some regrettable things. You know what I mean? I've probably named some Final Fantasy love interests after some real people that would probably horrify me if I were able to recall it.
You want to give us one?
I truly don't have any, but I know here's the thing is I know I can relate. I know I can relate to exactly what you're saying, but I think you more than other people have an ability to recall and like, what do you do with your brain while you're telling us this stuff? Do you check out and you're just like, Ashley Judd, computer?
It does feel like I'm there.
I'm back.
It does feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I don't feel like that really stopped until I met my wife in 2000. Yeah, the year 2000, I believe I met. Yeah. And when I started getting regular pussy, that shit stopped.
No way. That was the answer the whole time?
I gotta pull my wife aside and have this conversation with her and just say, just so you know, regular pussy is what saved me.
I told my wife recently I think I'm a pussy slave.
What?
Yeah, dude. I was like, because I always thank my wife for the pussy. You know what I mean? Exact words. I'm like, thank you for the pussy.
Does she call you Kunte Tinte?
Jake, do you see sometimes when like do you ever see like an apostrophe hit his brain? Damn. She asked me for like something and I just did it so mindlessly after like some sort of like task to be completed. And I was just like, hold on a second. Have I been led around by the pussy for going on, 15, 20 years? Mm-hmm. And now we have an understanding at least. It's pretty fucking tight just to be upfront about it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I think more people should just be like, hey, here's how much pussy I need, and anything that you want in life, I'll make that happen.
So you're essentially budgeting the pussy.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start keeping a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Put an app on my phone. Yeah.
Chip, you want to see?
Wait.
Look in.
Oh, it looks like Quicken.
Man. So yeah, dude, I'm glad that I was able to lift you from my broadcast. I'm glad that dude, between Gwetty Mernans, I don't know who else I touched. I hit dubs on the astral plane this week. It's fucked up. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like spiritually I'm connecting with people in a real crazy way recently.
Would it be fair to say you're astro plane too much?
Damn. Yeah, all right.
Are you trying to do it, or is it just coming out of you?
I think so. There is a part of me that's like, it's very important for me to like boost my boy. I mean, I've said it a million times. I don't need to repeat it, anymore. But like, can I tell him a little bit what you said, dude? Dubs was doing a little bit of a mushroom trip himself, and he said it was going south. It wasn't working for him.
I've been there. Yeah, that's.
And he said that he recalled something that I had told him, and it righted the course. It fixed everything. Not fixed everything, but like it was like he hit the swing. The trajectory shot,
yeah.
And he texted me about it, and this happened recently with Sid the kid too. I visited Sid in a dream. I was texting Sid about something in the middle of the night on mushrooms, and he called me the next day. He was like, "I swear to God, when I woke up and saw your text message, it was exactly what was happening in my dream." And I told Dubs, I was like, "Dude, when you get to outer space, you will see the light that I left on for you." And I'm so juiced up on it right now. It's kind of fucking me up.
I'm going to try to lead you to my Ashley Judd computer in a dream.
Damn, I'm so where I want to be right now that I'm afraid something bad is going to happen.
Enjoy it, man.
If you ever found that computer, would you consider that your judgment day?
Yes. Tim, what do you think?
This is why we got to stop having guests.
Dude, I got to thank you, too. This Mountain Dew Major Melon, I don't think I've ever had a better soda.
Yeah, I saw it. I thought of you right away. I was like, we're going to get fucked up. We're going to get sodaed up on this watermelon Mountain Dew.
This is real. We don't have air conditioning and my dad's dead energy.
We should go swimming in T-shirts.
I got the one with the seeds, though. I don't like it.
Oh, man. Chip, what's one thing like I like about you is that I feel like we've had similar childhoods.
Yeah, definitely.
And anything that you bring up, I feel like, oh, yeah, like I'm old enough to remember that, too.
Yeah. Well, because we're about the same age. We started comedy probably, within 6
2003.
months of each other. Yeah. And, and definitely, like, the vibe of the nerdy kid that couldn't talk to girls, but that had these, like, grand fantasies of, like, whatever it was. Like, being a comedian or sitting in a diner with the Globetrotters, whoever, like that. You know what I mean? Like, that would be like, yeah, like we definitely had that like quiet kid, but like behind it, like whether it was like fucked up or just like we just had we had jazz hands in our minds like at all times, but like we couldn't show it.
Put it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like, we can do this, but nobody else knew because we were just little dorks.
Is that just being an introvert, or
I think it's a big part of it.
There's
Yeah.
another part to it.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest aspect of it. And when you were growing up,
How molested were you?
yes,
Judd a little bit.
I would like to have a weekend like we had before. We actually had one of these before. I got snowed in at Chip's apartment.
Oh my God.
It was like just, I shouldn't say once in a lifetime because we've just been locked in the fucking house for the last year.
Yeah.
But we had a situation where the entire city was shut down and I couldn't get out of the city. So Chip was like, why don't you just stay at my place for the weekend? And in my mind, it's just like, all right, dude, we're going to get fucked up, dude. Just wait. It turns out we ate sherbet the entire weekend and watched funny videos.
Aw.
But that's like the ideal.
Yeah.
That's my ideal weekend.
We
Yeah.
did get pretty fucked up the first night at Helium because I remember I was just giggling the entire time. Like we were having a good time backstage, and just like I just remember I kept making you tell the joke about shaping young minds. Do you remember your shaping young minds joke where you're like, I'm not going to do it justice, but yeah, about the fire trucks. Do you remember the fire trucks?
Vaguely.
You're like shaping young minds. Can I do?
yeah.
I think I can do it, and I'll try to do it.
Lay it
justice.
out for us. Hit us.
So Mike was like, I hate the term when people say they're shaping young minds, like a teacher or something like that. Because like whenever I think of shaping young minds, I just think of this like creepy god who's like forming child's minds. And he would do the mime. He's like, yes, Frederick, you're going to like fire trucks, aren't you?
All right, I remember now.
I was I was so baked. I just made you say it like 20 times in a row. I was like, say it, do it again, do it again. And you're like, yes, Frederick, you like fire trucks, aren't you?
He didn't happen to mention Howard Johnson's in the joke at the time.
I don't
did he?
believe so. But one of the funniest things I ever saw, so it was me, him, and Pat House were snowed in for the weekend, and we decided to walk down to Rittenhouse because like it's like 2 feet of snow, everybody's like out, like just screwing around, and we're doing our Wild Boys chant from Duran Duran.
Oh yeah.
But we get to Rittenhouse, and people are like making snowball fights. Like somebody's playing, like set up a volleyball court in the snow, and they're playing. And Action News was there, and I forget, it was a female reporter. It was Amy Buckman, maybe, I forget, but it was some female reporter, and she was just doing sort of a man on the street, like, "What do you think of the snow?" or like whatever. And Mike's like, "Watch this," and he waits until they cut at one point, and he's like, "Come on," and he just gets up behind her and taps her on the shoulder, and she like looks at him, and he goes, "Hey, want to see a dead body?"
You know me, I just play too much, man.
What the fuck, man?
I play too much, man.
And she like you could see like this fear, but then this excitement. She's like, "Oh, I got a story," and he's like, "Nah, I'm just kidding," and then just walks away.
Did you say? It's like no. It's like no, I'm just playing. Did you cross her over with an invisible basketball?
Spun around her back.
Man,
Yeah, that was a fun weekend, man.
on perks or nah?
No, man.
Damn.
I don't know that I even had a drink that weekend. Actually, I did. I went down with the. Oh, this was a fucked up story. The reason why
this was crazy. Yeah, I forgot about
the
that.
reason why I went to Helium that Friday night was because a coworker messaged me to say he found out his wife was cheating on him, and I wasn't really friendly with the guy, but I was friendly enough as to where like he felt like comfortable like texting
Okay.
me that. So I was like, all right. He's like, would you mind meeting me for a drink? And I was like, yeah, fine. I was like, I'm actually thinking about going to Helium. You want to go there? He's like, yeah, no problem. So I met him down there, and he was fucking hammered. And before the show even started, they asked him to leave because he was becoming so belligerent. And he could barely walk by the time he agreed to leave. And we got to the vestibule at Helium, and he threw up everywhere. And I've never seen anybody this drunk. He could not walk. So I carried him from Helium to club quarters by Liberty One in Center City, which is a pretty far walk.
It's probably like a 10-minute
Yeah.
stroll.
So I had him over my back, and I put him in bed, and I got him a hotel room at club quarters, and then I went back to Helium.
Is Club Quarters like the name of a hotel? What is Club
Yeah, it
Quarters?
is. It is.
Or
It's a hotel.
okay.
Yeah. And then I went back to Helium, and Chip was there, and Brad Williams was there that weekend.
Yeah.
The midget?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He was great, man. He's a super nice guy too. And then at that point, SEPTA had shut down, and that's what I had taken to get into the scene.
I imagine seeing a midget comedian after your wife or girlfriend cheats on you is probably the only shot you have of getting lifted up. That's probably your only shot of having a nice time. And he missed it. Is he dead?
The last, I shouldn't say the last that I saw him, but the last interaction I had with him was he got fired from a school that I worked at because he was porking a student. So
Damn.
I did see him in the mall once after that, and it was more of just like a raised eyebrow as we pass, and then without saying anything.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Dude.
Yeah.
Did you know about Wetsuit Guy
No.
growing up in Philly? You know about Wetsuit Guy, right? Have I asked about Wetsuit Guy on here
No,
before?
who's wetsuit?
I vaguely remember this, but go ahead.
I think I brought it up in here. Wetsuit Guy was a guy that hung out like Philly area malls, and
Wait, like he was like a friend of yours, or like he was just a
no,
known
he was
guy?
like a local oddity.
Okay.
And he had like curly, almost like a combination of like 1999 Justin Timberlake curly hair mixed with like Guile from Street Fighter almost. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And he only wore like Under Armour. He only wore like rash guards and board shorts. And I think he wore a necklace with a big clock on it. Or no, he wore it on his wrist. Yeah, thank you. And everyone was like, that guy's a fucking creep. This was pre like very usable internet. This was like this was around 9/11, I guess, give or take. And everyone thought he was a pervert, but it was all just assumptions. No one ever actually made contact with him. And then later on, it like when the internet got a little bit better, we all found out that like, yeah, he had a pretty extensive history of sexual crimes.
Jeez.
But his list of aliases was so fucking funny. It was like Fanton Flan, Toot Flynn. And the way that they finally like put him away for a while was that he lied about he gave a fake name to become a census worker. But they hired him, he was going door to door.
Hello, ma'am. I'm touching the kids. I'd like to know if you'd be willing to answer some questions.
Touching the kid.
How many children under 18 do you have in this house?
All right, thank you.
And what time do you get home from work? Yeah, man, wetsuit guy was fucked up.
I'm just taking a survey of how many people are ticklish in
He
your
also he also would always whenever he was carrying a drink, he hung out at like the food courts and stuff. I can see if I picture the Cherry Hill Mall food court in my head, I see him in it. And he did that thing where he would hold his drink from the top, and when he was putting the straw in his mouth, he would go tongue out. So it was like
Ooh.
and it was just a very distinctive suck
behave.
motion. Yeah. Touching my kids.
Hey, I just want to take a second to give a shout out to our sponsor, Manscaped. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Chip, are you a Manscaped guy?
No, but I'd
Would you like to be?
Yeah.
I'm willing to show you after we're done here tonight, but the reason why my wife is so willing to go down on me and do pretty much whatever I ask for is because I've been taking
I have a gun.
Yes. I have a gun in one hand and a lawnmower 3.0 in the other.
This is actually all I use right now. So
But if you go to manscaped.com and use promo code FATBIRD, you get 20% off of whatever you buy in addition to free shipping. They have a ton of great grooming products, and also their clothes are super comfortable. They have underwear and T-shirts.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, dude, they're great. They are the most comfortable underwear and T-shirts that I own, and I can't say enough good things about them.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, man. I'm making some fashion statements this summer, and if you think I'm maintaining a 4.5-inch inseam without a lawnmower 3.0, you're out of your fucking mind.
So treat yourself, treat the person, whoever has to go down on you, take care of them, and make sure you manscape before you let that happen.
Yeah, give them a little haircut while they're sucking you.
So sometimes I tease my wife and I'll shave one eyebrow off while she's sucking my dick. I'd say just teasing, you know. But yeah, go to manscaped.com, use promo code FATBIRD, treat yourself to something nice, and do it for your wife. Do it for your husband. You know.
Do it for Ashley
Father's
Judd.
Day.
Yeah, do it for Ashley Judd, and David Faustino, Bud Bundy.
Get one for your dad. Why don't you treat your mom by getting your dad a lawnmower 3.0?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Or like if there's a gentleman who wears a wetsuit at the mall, like hand it to him and be like, "Look, baby."
Damn, that's fucked up, dude. Like our mom's all well, not my mom, she's not here, but our mom's all locked in sucking the same meat when it was rough. Dude meat was rough when our mom started sucking.
I'll never forget what my dad looks like in his underwear.
Yeesh.
I remember, my dad's not as hairy as I am. However, my dad used to just walk around in tighty whities that weren't so tight. He always had a gap between his thigh and
His pussy.
Yeah. So one pussy lip was always hanging out.
He's hanging lip.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. And by God, if he had access to a manscaper, I told you this before, that I remember overhearing an argument where my dad was trying to get my mom to suck his dick and she wasn't having it.
Yeah.
I told you that before, right?
Yeah, dude, he was begging.
Yeah.
Your dad begged.
She
to
wasn't
get
giving
sucked.
in, but I guarantee you, if he had access to a lawnmower 3.0, she would have been tonsils deep in that dick.
If my kids ever hear me begging to get sucked, I
You
can't
gotta beg,
imagine
dude.
coming back from that.
I won't do any more than snap my fingers and point at it. That's as far as I'll go.
I pretend to throw a tennis ball at him. She just goes for it.
Can you put like Vanilla Ice lines in it? Can you do that?
Yeah. Do the Mike Tyson line. Yeah.
Works for ladies too. Mike Tyson's Munch Out.
That was pretty good. That was okay.
Thanks, buddy. Got it out without having a stroke.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks, man.
Dude, I did comedy again. I did stand-up again this weekend.
Went well?
It went really well.
Good.
Everyone was so nice.
When was the last time you did comedy? Like stand up?
Friday. Friday.
But before that.
Like a month before that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Are you getting up at all?
I just started last week. Like I
Yeah.
did some Zoom shows and like you know what Zoom shows are, but like just last week I did 2 shows back to back and they were great. People were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you like it? You were up in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, I went up in Brooklyn, and it was Harrington's place, the
Oh, cool.
Old Man Hustle. First of all, the dude that runs Old Man Hustle, is from the fucking neighborhood. We knew all the same dudes. He was like, oh, you know Steve Bush? I was like, bro, yeah, I know. Bushy's the fucking legend. He's the Wigger King that I'm trying to bring on here.
Oh, that'd be terrific.
I'm just going back and forth on it because, like, he is the wildest dude I've ever met in my life. Bushy is number one wildest dude, and I'm, like, afraid to unleash him. So it was, I don't know, it was just very cool, and I got to hang out with fucking Chris from Brooklyn, and it was, man, what an awesome fucking time. And then, and Joe Gorman was there too. I was fucking hanging out with my boy.
Cool.
And, dude, someone, like, a lady, like, remarked about how gay I am. Because I was just, like, boosting my boys up. I think I was telling Chris how handsome he is. And she was just like, why do you talk to people like this? And I was just like, I gotta let this out, dude. I gotta fucking let my boys know how much I care.
Let the positivity go. People want that. Like, I think it's just like the last couple years, especially with COVID, like, it's people are just so in the weeds with that stuff. I'm hoping and that, like, they just want people to be silly and fun and not, you know, like, super. I mean, you can be aggressive or whatever, but, like, people need an escape, I think, right now, and they just want it to be positive. They want it to be fun, at least, you know. And
yeah,
I
think we stumbled on the secret sauce with that.
Yeah.
We walked backwards into it. Anyway, it was just cool to have it, like, just be a nice time. My God, how many nightmares I've had. But, dude, you know what I'm realizing? And I'm going to be candid about this. I think, like, a lot of my misgivings about stand-up have to do with the fact that, like, I can't stand... In the past, I've had a hard time, like, accepting how bad I am at things to improve them. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? That you felt you were bad at stand-up?
Yeah.
What?
Or, like, not that I think I'm bad at stand-up, but just, like, accepting that I'm, like... how much work I have to do to be good.
Well, and the thing about stand-up is that, and I mean, you're hilarious, and every time I saw you do stand-up, it's great, but, like, you can't get good at stand-up in your basement. Like, it doesn't. You have to put it in front of people. You have to be terrible in front when you first start out in front of crowds. Mike, you know, I mean, how many terrible crowds that, like, literally got in fights and, like, had knives pulled on us and all that, like, throughout the years, like, where it got bad and, like, we had to suffer through that. And so in order to get, like, if you want to become a guitar virtuoso, you can sit in your basement and, like, practice and, like, at your own schedule whenever you want to do it. But, like, you have to get in front of people and, like, suffer in front of people. So not only do you have that weird thing about, like, not being great, but you have to, these people know that you're not great.
So here's specifically how, and I hate doing, like, inside comedy shit just because, like, I don't have a place in comedy. But here's my big triumph was first of all, I found a way to be excited about the show on the way up, because typically when I have a stand-up show, I hope that there's a fire when I'm on the way there. Sometimes I'll be like, well, if I was in a car accident, then of course I wouldn't be able to perform. I'd have a perfect excuse.
By the way, every show I do, exact same thoughts,
dude.
Exact same thoughts.
It means so much to hear, like,
or you hope that nobody's going to be there.
Yeah, it's you hope that there will be so few people that they can't, like, and there's been so many nights where, like, I'm at a club where there's, like, 8 people. On, like, on a late show on a Friday,
yeah, we'd probably just bag it.
And then it's just that moment of, like, it's like listening to the radio when you're a kid for a snow day. They're like, like, just like 2 assholes walk in the back room, like, we got 10 now, we'll do it. Yeah. And then you're like, shit. And, like, you just want it to be canceled. Yeah.
So that was the situation when I first got there. It was like, hey man, it's midnight on a Friday, ticket sales are light. And I was just like, dude, I'm just happy to drive somewhere and listen to music. I'll go home. And then Harrington, this is where Harrington's true talent lies. Everyone knows I love Mike Harrington. Mm-hmm. Mike Harrington barks the room into a full crowd.
Wow.
But here's the new nightmare. So, like, I'm just encountering every nightmare possible on the way there. And, like, I'm pushing through them. I'm overcoming. This is my triumph. So he barks the room full, and now I'm like, oh, well, these aren't, like, comedy fans. These are people who are just, like, trying to get fucked up, and someone tricked them into spending money on a comedy show. And then I found a way in my head to, like, okay, that's going to happen a lot, though. I found a way to get excited about that.
Good.
And then it was great. And then it was, I went on stage feeling good about it. I can't remember the last time I did that. I can't remember the last time I went on stage feeling like this is going to be fun. It might not have ever happened before. So that was this might be, too many things are going my way, man. Something fucked up's coming down the pike. I know.
Stop.
I'm not speaking that into existence. I'm just saying this is my one big drawback right now. Now I have to accept it all. Now that all the shit that I've, like, done for myself is going my way, now I have to learn to accept it. That's my homework for this week.
Good. I'm glad.
Next week I'm going to come back not worried about everything falling apart.
And I think one thing that like when you're talking about that, like getting excited about that and like owning that experience, like I try to do it. And again, this is easier said than done. Like, you know, do as I say, not as I do. But like I try to remember, like in stand up, but also like just in life, like you forget how much control you're in. Like you're in control of like what you can do pretty much every day. Like you have your family, you have whatever, but it's like
Now you're talking my language.
I can do this shit, right? Like it's like I can, you know, like there's the Jerry Seinfeld thing. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld. He's like I never think of stand up as like, oh, I have to do stand up tonight. He's like, I always think of it as I get to do stand up.
I found that.
Like, so which is like, so you try to, I tell myself that, but then you realize like whatever is like we were talking earlier about life, but like it's stand up. It's like you are in control when you're doing stand up. I don't care what the crowd is, where you are, in front of 2,000 people, in front of 5 people. You're on stage with a microphone. They have that respect and that trust for you that you have to earn after the first 30 seconds. But, like, you are literally in charge. You're the only person that can be seen and heard at this point.
Dude.
You take it wherever you want. And, like, I remember doing a show at Bananas in North Jersey.
That's what what's-his-face was always saying. Michael Richards.
Yeah, okay. So what I do comedy just like him. So if people get a little loud, I
That's
just
how
yell.
Harrington gets people into Old Man Hustle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You won't come into Old Man Hustle and watch this show and beat me up.
I was doing a show at Bananas up in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, and it's like a side room, you know, like where and it's fun. It's a fun room. But I was doing 2 shows on a Saturday night, and the early show was like kind of mediocre, and I was headlining, and like I had people in the crowd there, like friends to see me and stuff like that, but the crowd, and I just went on autopilot after a while because like they weren't a great crowd, they weren't that energetic, and I went over the plate and I just was totally just robotic about it. And I was mad at myself after the show because I was like, it was just shitty. And I had people that are seeing me. The late show that night was a smaller crowd and they were just, I could tell they were rowdy. Like they were drunk. There was like these guys from like Missouri who were like oil guys or something like that.
Oh,
They were just,
I had drunk
animals.
Indian guys on Friday night. Yeah.
So like, and then there was like this like chatty woman up front. She's like loud and drunk. And like, I was like, this is going to be a nightmare. Like, I'm going to hate this crowd. It's going to be so bad. And I've already had a mediocre show. Now the last show of the week is going to be terrible. And then just something in me clicked. I was like, wait, I'm the headliner. Like I can't go on autopilot. I have to, I have to run this. I have to be in charge. Like I have to lead this group. And I was like, fuck it. I have to go up there and just give it my all and show them who's boss. It was by far the best show of the weekend because I gave it my all. They knew that like they followed my lead and I was like, bang, bang, bang. And like I was handling everybody and they were just like on me. And I was like, if I would have just done that the early show, they would have followed me. And I just didn't do that. So it's like, you're in charge no matter what you do. So like, no matter what show you do or like just remember that it's like you can make it or break it. And dude, I forget that all the time.
Go,
2
Mike.
points I want to make, Chip. 1, you look like a bouncer at Lilith Fair.
I got the arms of an angel.
And 2, would it be fair to say that once you had that revelation, that second show at Bananas was more appealing?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Mike,
dude.
I didn't play that much that night. I don't think you
Man,
should play
I had an
that
actual.
much right now.
No, the autopilot thing comes up a lot, and I think what happens with the autopilot thing. I was just talking to McCusker about this every day for the past month. The autopilot thing is like you go up there and you just like recite like the things that have worked in front of other crowds, and you're just like, oh well, they were a bad crowd. It was never going to work. Mm-hmm. When the alternative is like actually connecting with them and like kind of taking like a risk of like that vulnerability of like actually putting yourself into it, because then if you fail that way, it's like, oh, they rejected me.
Yep.
And if they reject just like your autopilot material, it's like, oh, they were a bad crowd. That stuff works for everybody
it's
else.
Such a defense mechanism. And you could just and again, you got to remember too, like I'm somebody, and I think this goes back to like Mike and I being like nerdy kids and like just like shy and just like I
little
didn't,
fat.
Right. Oh yeah, I was a little chubby. I didn't get picked on that much in like middle school or anything like that, but I thought I was constantly getting picked on.
Yeah.
I was always like ready for it. And like that kid's talking about me. Those jocks are making fun of me. They didn't give a shit about me.
Right. Yeah.
And like it's that thing of like people do, it's like you wouldn't care as much what people thought about you when you realize how little they do. Mm-hmm. So like I'm really trying like post COVID to like go out there and like even doing it for so many years, like I tried to mellow out over the years, but like I would always get so nervous and worked up.
Yeah.
And now I'm just trying to like, fuck it. I'm just going to have fun at these shows. And like somebody told me like early on, I forget who it was, but they're like, as soon as you stop caring, that's when you'll get good. Like just stop caring and just like flow with it, and people will have fun.
Before I took like a long break away from stand up, I remember the last group of shows I had was I had a weekend at the Punchline, and I fucking hated it. I was dreading every show. I'm pretty sure the diarrhea that I've gotten from dreading shows has taken 10 years off the elasticity of my asshole. And it was that constantly, and I finally had a breaking point with that, and I ate shit all weekend. And I remember I had my check, and I needed the money, and I couldn't wait for it to clear. I could have deposited it, but it would have been a few days before it to clear. So on Sunday morning, as soon as Walmart opened, I was at customer service trying to cash my check, and I just made a decision saying, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again because I hate this so fucking much.
Yeah.
But then during that time away, I realized, like, you don't have to fucking do it. The world's not going to miss a chubby 40-year-old that doesn't do comedy anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, fucking do it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up because
Yeah.
nobody fucking cares. Do it or don't do it. It's fine.
Sure. Yeah, that was actually, that's how I got moving. But, I feel good. I feel I'm wow. I can't believe the personal growth. That's anytime I sound like a hypocrite from now on, I'll be like, this is so much just personal growth. I can't believe it. Like a month ago, I'm like, stand up is actually maybe retarded and useless and probably holding society back. And now I'm just like, wow, man, how lucky am I? Jeez.
Dude, the next time you eat pussy, you should be like, I can't believe this is so much personal growth, man.
I'm going to typewriter it next time. Ding. Yeah. Anyway, so this is probably obnoxious. Having me glow like this for so long, this is probably tough.
No, I think this is a good example that anytime you fucking feel good, you need to talk about it and you need to enjoy it. Because there's so many times where good shit happens in everybody's life and you just instantly start looking for shit that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, I do that constantly. Like, I'm such a worst case scenario person. Like, like I'm a huge, anxiety stuff, but I'm a hypochondriac, like germaphobe. Like, whenever all my back hurts, it's like, I just go to the worst case scenario. It's like,
it's your fast brain. Your fast brain is just like, come on, man, I'm bored. What's up, dude?
Oh yeah, and it's like,
did anything hurt?
Just
like,
be
oh,
happy.
dude, I have cancer in my fucking hip or something. Yeah.
I do that all the time, and then that'll get to stand up, like driving up to Brooklyn. Like, this is gonna go wrong. They're gonna laugh me off the stage. I'm good. It's just the word. I'm gonna make a fool of myself, and you just play worst case scenario, and you just have to figure out. And again, I'm trying to figure it out, but it's like how just to short circuit that spiral and just cut yourself off and just go to that positive place.
Yeah, well, I think the true lesson here is that it's not like there's not just like a switch you flip. Like, no, dude, I'm going to perceive this in a positive light. I just did a bunch of stuff. Like, again, going up there and lighting up my boys. Like, I was trying to, when I got up there, I saw Gorman and I saw Chris and dude, my boy Kool-Aid Miguel was up there too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and the first thing I immediately tried to do was just make them happy. Not even make them laugh. I was just like, dude, I'm gonna make my boys happy when I see their faces. And then when I felt like I did that, I was like, dude, tonight is already such a success. This is the gayest I've ever talked, by the way. But as soon as that happened, I was like, tonight's already such a success that everything from here on out is bonus.
Tim, would it be fair to say that when you made Kool-Aid happy, you said, "Oh yeah"?
We should switch over to the Patreon. Dude, Mike's bombing right now, Chip.
Mike is just, man, he's
yeah, Chip, sorry about this, dude. Sometimes Mike just embarrasses me on this show, and
it's all right.
You're cool, man. It's just
I feel like
sometimes I'm just not feeling what Mike does, and
dude, I can't wait to not take you to the Kids Choice Award.
I'm going to say this. I really did like that Kool-Aid joke, and I hope Jamie hears it. And I hope you get a lot of tang tonight.
You devil, you.
Damn.
I'm going to give her some Sunny D.
Chip, you're really good at that. Yeah. I like when Chip does it. I don't like when you do it. I love when Chip does it.
Thanks, Tim.
Dude, how great would it be if I just stabbed them both right now?
Here's the thing. You can't. But the way he does it really hard. Like, he comes in and it's always the is it fair to say and all that stuff. And he's just doing it so hard and it's so heavy when he does it.
Yeah.
Like, when I do it, it's just really crystal light.
Motherfucker.
You see what I just
Turn
did
it
right
off,
there?
Jake. Turn the show off.
Turn it off. Turn the show off.
Wait. Follow Chip.
I'm going to start stabbing. I'm going to leave no one 5 alive.
Oh, man.
At Chip Chantry.
At Chip Chantry on Instagram and Twitter. I would love followers at Chip Chantry. Yeah.
One of the fucking nicest and funniest guys I've encountered in comedy, and I'm very thankful.
You guys are great, and thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun. You're two of my favorite people, and it's so much fun.
Likewise, Chip. I love you. I respect you, and I'm so glad you're doing this with us. And if you're watching this now, join us on the Patreon in about 10 minutes. We're going to have so much fucking fun over there, as we do every fucking week. Go to patreon.com/dadmeatpodcast. You could you pay whatever the fuck you want to join. It could be $1 if you want. If you want to pay more, we always appreciate that too. Just come have fun with us either way.
Good night. We love you.
Love you, Bubs.